If fair is fair, if fair is fair, Vinicius Junior, first of his name, is the Ballon d'Or winner. Because nobody has done anything enough to pretty much say what's up or change the narrative to push away from him being the Ballon d'Or winner. But reality is reality. If certain things happen in that final, they're going to give it to Jude Bellingham. Look, we have to face the reality here. We have to face the reality here, man. This happened. It happened. You see, the Ballon d'Or isn't 1 + 1 = 2. It isn't, oh, the best performer of the season gets the dub. There's a little bit of different stuff that comes into it, because we could just remember Cristiano Ronaldo and what he did against Sweden, that three-piece that sent Portugal into the World Cup. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, was that the World Cup where Cristiano hit a one-man wall, which was Bart Simpson, who's about 2 inches high? Put that to one side. But because of that moment he had against Sweden, that's giving the Ballon d'Or over Ribery, wrongfully so. So this happened. And people are going to forget the fact that Jude Bellingham has underperformed, but the fact that, this is real. Jude Bellingham scored an overhead kick to save England from going out. If Jude Bellingham did not score this goal, which is still goal of the tournament, England would be home. This is a fact. If Jude doesn't do this, England do not score. And England are out. Yes, Kane scored the winning goal. Yes, Saka. But if Jude Bellingham did not do this, again where England were losing 1-0 and playing like trash, they're out. So it could end up being one of the most clutch moments in history. If England win the Euros, this will be the most clutch goal that England has ever scored. And Jude Bellingham would have scored England's most clutch goal in history if England win the Euros. But as people have said, this is still an important moment, and this is still one of the most clutch moments in England history. But let's be real. If England don't win the Euros, it's still there, but it loses its luster. This becomes a truly iconic clutch moment and a potential Ballon d'Or moment if England do win the Euros. So this has been the argument for, hey, Bellingham is a front runner. But guys, see, in this channel, we keep it a stack. We can only keep it 1,000. We keep it fully 1,000. Bellingham has been trash at this Euros. I'll be real. I'm a Bellingham fan. I'm a huge Bellingham fan. And you've seen how much I have championed him all throughout the season because of his impact on Real Madrid at such a young age. But his performances for England have been particularly bad. Outside of the winning goal against Serbia, outside of that amazing goal he scored against Slovakia, is it Slovakia, Slovenia? I think Slovakia. Outside of those goals he has scored, he has been terrible. He's been really bad. He looks awkward on the ball. He looks cumbersome. He looks tired. He's falling over the ball. It takes him ages just to do a simple trick. He just looks awkward. Very, very awkward. So I don't know whether it's fatigue. I don't know whether it's tiredness. I don't know what it is. But this doesn't look like a guy who you can give the Ballon d'Or to. So my anger at the front runner is his performances have been bad. The whole point of this is the best performer is a guy who, this is football's face. This is a guy who you can put as the face of football for this given year. When Benzema did what he did, yeah. When Messi did what he did at that World Cup, yeah. Even if Dini didn't say what's up in that final, what he did for the plethora of that 05-06 season, yeah. But for Bellingham, the second half of the season was But for this Euros, outside of those 2 goals, forget the rest of the tournament, whether you can talk about Yamal, Rodri, Ruiz, Olmo. England, Saka has been better. Palmer has been better. Kobe Mainoo has been better. Foden has been better. In terms of just performances, I'll say probably Foden has been better. But the issue with Foden is that he's not actually done anything to affect it. But I'd argue Foden has been better. Performance-wise, like Foden's performance in that game against the Netherlands, just that first half has been better than anything Bellingham has done, performance-wise, not effective-wise. I think Gehi has been better. Pickford has been better. So Bellingham has not. I can name you 3 or 4 players before Bellingham who've been better on the England's team before your boy Jude. So if a guy is not even the best guy on his team, how are we giving them the Ballon d'Or? Because of an overhead kick? But let's go even deeper. You see, it's like a tale of two halves of these two players. Remember, Vinny was injured for most of the season. First of that season, Jude was amazing. He was so superb. Not only was he scoring goals. Scoring goals is one thing. He was scoring important goals. He was scoring key goals. He was scoring crucial goals. So you had Jude, who was amazing for the first half of the season. Then Vinny was amazing for the second half of the season. So that's where it's like, okay, where do we go? Vinny second half, Jude first half. And again, let's not take away what Jude did in the first half of the season. It was amazing. You see, let's not rewrite history. Remember, this is how well you've done. That first half of the season, Jude was outstanding. Are we going to forget this guy scored a 2-piece in his first El Clasico, one of which was an amazing goal, and the second one was like a last-minute winner? We can't forget that. We can't forget how well he performed in both El Clasicos. We can't forget the amounts of winning goals he scored. We can't forget the fact that he's been clutch. We can't forget that. But he didn't have a good second half of the season. And what is very crucial is the UCL. The UCL belonged to Vinny. Now, Vinny had a very good second half of the season. He came on, remember, he was injured. He was injured, but when he came back from injury, he was balling. He was money. And he was very crucial in helping Real Madrid win the La Liga. Because remember, Jude Bellingham did not have a good second half of the season. Vinny was Real Madrid's main guy for that second half of that season. But crucially, very important, is he was the main man in the UCL, specifically in both UCL semifinals and in the UCL final. Bellingham did not have much of an effect in those 3 games. Both UCL semifinal legs and the UCL final. He just did not have an effect. And no, I'm not giving him that assist in the final. No, that was a simple pass, and Vinny did a lot to actually score the freaking goal. So Vinny was the face of the team and was the main superstar and the main instigator for the both legs against Bayern Munich, and he was one of the best players on that pitch against Dortmund. So what are we saying here? For me, the front runner is Vinny. Based on how badly Jude has performed, the front runner is Vinny. But this is where it gets difficult. This is where it's a difficult discussion. Vinny didn't have a good Copa America. All he did was that 2-piece against Paraguay. Disappointing against Costa Rica. 2-piece against Paraguay, one of which was an amazing, great goal. But then you now see him now get a yellow card, which meant that he was now suspended for, obviously, their game. I believe it was against Uruguay in the next round. Yes, it was the game against Uruguay in the next round. So he was now suspended for that game. So I think it was the Colombia game, I believe, where he got the yellow card. Yeah, and suspended for the Uruguay game. So then, ultimately, outside of those 2 goals, he had a disappointing, and he had an under par Copa America for someone of his talent level. So, which is why people's arguments is, and this is the key argument, and this is the reality, and I don't agree with this. If England win the Euros, they're going to give the Ballon d'Or to Jude Bellingham. I don't agree. And I think that is wrong. Now, if England win the Euros and Jude Bellingham scores the winning goal, as much as I wouldn't want to agree, I can't fight against it. I'm sorry. If Jude Bellingham scores the goal to win the European Champions for England, their first trophy since 1966, keeping in mind what he did for Real in the first half of the season, keeping in mind this overhead kick that he did and how much weighting we give to international football and how on the par Vini was for Brazil in Copa America, if he does that, I'm sorry, then you have to give him the Ballon d'Or. You'd have to. But if Jude drops a break, is under par, and England win the Euros without him actually having an effect, they would give him the Ballon d'Or. I would disagree. That would be wrong. Because if that happens, give it to Vinicius. But as we're saying this, guys, are we sleeping on Rodri? Remember, City did not win the UCL, but they did win the league. And he was, I believe, the best player of the year. Not Foden, I believe it was Rodri. And everyone knows that Rodri is critical and pivotal to Man City. So he had a very good domestic season, leading City to an unprecedented four-peat. Yeah, I think it was, a four-peat, which is madness. Now, you would argue Yamal, Ruiz, perhaps even Williams, maybe even Olmo may have been on par or better, but Rodri has been one of Spain's best players. So if Spain win the Euros and Rodri is a man of the match, should he not get a shout? If Spain win the Euros and Rodri scores the winning goal, so put it this way, if Spain win the Euros, and Rodri he's pretty good, but it's not really that effective, give it to VINI. If Spain win the Euros and Rodri scores the winning goal, you've got me stumped. You've got me stumped. That Jude is out of it. Then it's between VINI and Rodri. I would still give it to VINI. The reason why I would give it to VINI is I do believe that Ruiz, Yamal, Nico Williams have been better throughout the tournament. Rodri has been quality, but I do believe there have been other players who actually performed better than Rodri at this Euros. So it will be close. It'll be close, but I'm like, given the body of work of VINI in terms of La Liga and UCL, I would just edge it to VINI. I'd give Rodri second. Then I'd give it Jude third. So if Rodri says what's up in that Euros final, I would give Rodri second. VINI first, then you third. But you could make a great argument to give Rodri the Dubinsky. But I just feel that for Jude, the reality is this. It's PR. This is all PR. I believe the powers that be would want to give it to Jude over VINI because it's just more for PR. But I just think the frustration I have here is what happened to fairness? What happened to fairness? Because let's be real. If you give the Ballon d'Or to Jude and he doesn't do anything in the final and England win, it would look really stupid. Because when you look at what Messi did, even what Cristiano did in some years, what freaking Benzema did, or what Modric did, these are guys that, yeah, they balled out. They balled out. Like, if you give the Ballon d'Or to Jude, he might be one of the worst recipients of this award. Like, if Jude breaks it in the final and he gets the Ballon d'Or, he might arguably be one of the worst winners of the Ballon d'Or in terms of what other guys did and how well they performed, specifically in crucial games, to this where he's been garbage. I'm sorry, like, I'm keeping it stuck, and I'm a Jude fan, but he has been garbage. At these Euros, he's been crap. Shout out to the overhead kick, shout out to the winning goal, but you've been crap. Okay? Other players have been far better than you. So I think it would be wrong. So look, if you're VINI right now, man, you're holding your breath to see what happens in this Euro final. Because I do believe if Spain win this Euros, it goes to VINI. I think whatever happens, I think if Spain win the Euros, it goes to VINI. If England wins these Euros, I think it's going to be the Jorginho effect. If England win the Euros, they'll just say, oh, well, Jude won the UCL, La Liga, and Euros, so therefore, which is freaking stupid. No, he didn't. No, forget about what he won. How did he contribute to those titles? Because people's argument is that, oh, if England win the Euros, well, Jude won Euros, UCL, and La Liga. VINI only won La Liga and UCL. No, what did Jude contribute to those Euros? Now, Jude has made a huge contribution in a singular moment, but not enough to now say, oh yeah, he now deserves the Ballon d'Or. But I do believe that. So again, if Jude does not perform in that Euros final and England win, he shouldn't get it. It should go to VINI. But if Jude scores the winning goal and does something critical in that final, it is what it is. It is what it is what it is, But we just have to wait and see. But remember, for England, you've got to stop these boys because these are the favorites. These are the guys expected to win. You've got to stop these boys. But so for Jude, you're gonna have to win these Euros. Before we even get into the discussion, you have to win these Euros. Because if England don't win these Euros, oh no, then it's VINI. It's like if Spain win the Euros, oh, VINI has 100%. 100%. Because the PR for Rodri is not strong enough. So even if Rodri scores the winning goal and does amazing, the PR isn't strong enough, and I do feel the lack of that UCL may be lacking. Although I will still say this: if Rodri scores the winning goal, and is man of the match, I think he has a great argument. I think he has a very strong, compelling argument. Specifically, this being a European award. But we wait on we seek. But I do think that the events on Sunday in our Euro final could pretty much determine who they give the Ballon d'Or to. But right, Vinny is the front runner right now. So no, Vinicius is the front runner right now. Unless something different happens on Sunday, Vinny is the front runner. So it all depends on Sunday.